family secrets. It's time to expose them so that healing process can begin. Family secret versus family business. Now, what would you say is a family secret versus the family business? We're going to start with the family business first. All right, so the family business, all right, maybe what you have in your home, or maybe your bills get behind. I mean, that's the family business. Or maybe mom and dad have an argument. That's the family business. Family business doesn't have anything to do with sin, but the family secrets usually have something to do with sin. Something that you are hiding so that you don't want anyone to talk about it. You have your children going around in the home in fear of what's going on in the home or what's happening to them. So there's a big difference between family secrets and family business. Just something to think about as we go through tonight's presentation. But first, we have to look at our history. Okay. Now, for the African American, all right, we were brought over here on the ships, didn't want to come over here. We were sold into slavery. Families were separated. They had no voice and no education. So there's a lot going on. Or you may be an immigrant. You know, when you came over here, think you're going to make all this money, find out you're working for pennies and not making that much money, but you saved your money for your family so that you can get ahead by starting a business. It's a big difference. It seems like most immigrants, they come over here and they work for much of nothing, but they work and save their money for their family and build up that generational wealth to pass down to their children. But with the African Americans, that did not happen. It does not happen. But it seems as if it's happening more today at our time compared to back when slavery was going on in the 1960s, and we have the 70s, where we had the Black Power going on. Then we got the 80s and 90s, and now the 2000s. But back then, our people did not have a voice. They were not taught anything. So they did the best that they could with what they were dealt with. They played the hand that they were dealt. That's what they did back then. Secrets. Numbers 14:18 says, "The Lord is long suffering and abundant in mercy, forgiving iniquity and transgression. But he by no means clears the guilty, visiting the iniquity of the fathers on the children to the third and fourth generation." All right. So there are consequences when we sin. We may think we have gotten away with it, but God said He's going to revisit that sin, that hidden iniquity upon your children, the grandchildren, the great, 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 and the great, great, great grandchildren. God is going to come back. Somebody has to give an account for that sin. They're going to be judged for their father's sin, the grandfather, the great grandfather, the great great grandfather, and that child had nothing to do with it. So, our secrets and our sin, they don't just affect us, they affect future generations. Secrets, they kill. People have witnessed things, been a part of things, and dared to speak against it. If they did, they got killed. In all seriousness, they lost their life for revealing a secret or This old thing, I'm not going to be a snitch, but you carry that guilt and shame, that secret sin for someone else while you're dying on the inside. Secrets, they keep you in fear. Fear that someone may look at you differently, fear they won't respect you any longer, but fear paralyzes you. You're too scared to move forward in your life because of what you know or what you have done. Secrets stops your voice. You dare to speak up and you lose your voice and your authority. And you try to walk around with this brave face on as if you're tough and you have it together. But on the inside, it's nagging at you because you have yet to release the secret. Eventually, it will be uncovered. It's going to be uncovered in this lifetime or in a lifetime to come. But while you still have breath in your body, why don't you reveal the secret in this lifetime? Be free of it so when judgment comes, you'll be getting your rewards if you belong to God, or you'll end up in hell. That's it. Bottom line. It's going to be uncovered. Then it will show up in your children. Our kids have no idea of the sins that we have done, but it's in the bloodline. Or there's the evil spirits, all right, in the bloodline, over the bloodline, that infiltrate and get to our children because we have not covered them the correct way. Covered them by the blood of the Lamb, showing them the way to salvation, to accept Jesus as their Lord and Savior, severing those ties with the enemy. You cut them and let him know that he has no authority over you, your children, your grandchildren, future generations, or your household. So our children are just out there left open to fend for themselves, and they have no idea why things happen to them or why they even do certain things. It's because the enemy has access to the bloodline when you have the authority to stop it if you belong to God. Trauma happens. All right. So, back with our history, there was a lot of things going on with our parents and grandparents. So, they had no voice. All right. We had mental illness. Back then it was a funny thing when you had a slow, aunt or uncle or whoever, they were slow. Or somebody got sent to jail or prison for a little of nothing. Our system is just so messed up. I pray one day that it gets rectified and corrected. All right. Then we have the drugs and the alcohol. That's another area that messed up a lot of families with fathers and mothers leaving their babies for the drug. All right. Don't tempt yourself with that. Don't let the enemy tempt you with that. Anyone that tells you to try drugs and alcohol, they are not your friend. They have been sent by the enemy to get you hooked and hoodwinked. Because once you get that drug in your system, first time you tried, okay, I did it. But then your mind, you get those thoughts. You want to go back and try it again. And before you know it, you're so far gone that you can't get out of it. And you'll leave your children behind. You'll steal from your mother. Drugs, they don't care. The devil don't care about any of us. He hates mankind, period. Trauma, all right? Divorce happens, all right? The family breaks up. That's trauma for children. Or you have the absent parent. They're they're gone. You just have the mom or you have the dad raising the children. Or both parents can be in the home, but you have that silent parent. The ones that's there but not there. They're not engaged with the family or with the children, with the upbringing. It's like you handle it. But that's not a cohesive family. Then we have the sexual trauma. Okay? We have the molestation in families, we have incest in families, we have the kissing cousins, the touching cousins, we have rape, and none of these things were talked about in the African American family. They weren't taught to talk about these things. So, what did they do? Just sweep it under the rug, don't talk about it, they don't want to hear it, they don't want to discuss the past. But today is a new day. In the past few years, things have been coming to the light, and we need to continue to bring things to the light and talk about it with freedom and without fear so that people can be set free and healed from what keeps them in bondage. And while all this is going on, children suffer. The babies are suffering. We have children that don't get enough food to eat. We just have trauma going on. We have children that are left alone at home. We have children taking care of children because the parents aren't there or they may be working. But we have to stop what we are doing and pay attention to our children. We have to check in with them to see how they are doing, making sure that they're okay, talking to them about their bodies, giving them the correct body parts. Don't give it a nickname, okay? No nicknames. Because if they go to school, something happened, and they go see the nurse or the teacher or the principal and say, so and so touched my girls or my TTs. What is that? They don't know our language. Teach your children the proper body parts. That no one should be touching their body parts. Okay? That's for doctors only and parents to a certain extent. But if you feel uncomfortable at any time, come to me. I'm not going to be mad at you. I don't care who it is. I need to know so I can protect you. Talk to your children. Please talk to them. Our upbringing, this is what I was taught, what we were taught in my era. All right. We were taught to respect our parents. There was no talking back or, smacking your teeth or looking at them like they're crazy. We were told to go to school, get good grades, go to college, and get a job. That's what we were told. Maybe you had some chores, clean your room, watch your brothers and sisters from time to time. But this is what we were taught. We weren't even taught about having a business, your own business, or generating generational wealth or passing down a legacy and saving your money. These are things that we need to be talking about to our children and teaching them how to open up a bank account, save your money. There's a big ticket item that you want, okay, save for it. That way, they will appreciate it more instead of just giving them everything. And then they grow up with a chip on their shoulder because every time they're asking for something, you can't give it to them or you don't want to give it to them. Teach them how to work and earn money. All right? Teach them how to be a part of society. You work for what you want. It's time to change the narrative. It's time to bring the secrets to the light so that we can be healed. No longer holding on to the pain, no longer holding on to the past trauma, but releasing it. Start talking about it. There has to be someone in your life that you trust. Share it with them so that you can start to get that release in your soul. Open up. You have to open up to be healed. You have to. Let's stop the cycles, because if you sit there in silence for years, never talking about what has happened to you, there is a huge possibility that your child or your grandchildren, your great great grandchildren will experience the same thing. Why? Because it was not confronted and talked about. It wasn't shared. No one had knowledge of it. That's what I'm talking about. Talk to your children. I've talked to my boys about what has happened to me so that they're aware of it. So now when they have children, they know what to look out for and what to be aware of. And then their children can tell their children. Let's break these negative cycles in our families. The same sin keeps passing down from generation to generation, such as incest, alcoholism, and drugs, divorce. We have to stop the cycles and deal with the issues. No one wants to confront. Confront means just to sit down and talk about it. It does not mean you have to be arguing and yelling at anyone. Come to the table and let us reason together. Let one person speak, you listen. They're letting you know how they feel. And then you say what you have to say, your side of the story. And you come together and work it out. Stop the cycles. You have the power within you to stop it. Don't let it keep going on. The family unit. Now, this is how God intended it to be. A man seeks a wife. A man that finds a wife finds a good thing. It does not say that the woman should be looking and seeking a man. And when the man finds the woman, she accepts him, courts him, they get marriage counseling, and they get married. And then the children come. Our families have been so dysfunctional throughout these years and generations that things are just all out of whack. They're out of whack. Okay? A man cannot impart to a child what a mother can do. A woman cannot impart to a son or a daughter what a father can impart. So there's something missing. Now, children are a blessing from the Lord, but God's plan is that there is a husband and a wife and a children in a family, and they're all needed for the family unit. Now, I am not saying there's anything wrong with your family. You have children, you're single, God bless you. It's tough. It's tough being a single parent raising children. It is not an easy job. I commend you for getting up every day, taking care of your child, and doing what you have to do. I pray God give you the strength to continue, and God bless you, because being a parent is not an easy task. You know, you have these little ones, and they're depending on you to raise them up to be a part of productive society. Parenting, it's a job. It's a job, a tough job. Now, we're going to look at a few instances from the Bible looking at family relationships. All right, so in the first story is going to be Cain and Abel. Cain killed his brother. Now, what kind of mess is that? And here we are in 2021, and we still have family members killing family members. What's up with that? Tamar, she was raped by her half brother. He lusted after her soul. He wanted her soul. He tricked her and he forced himself upon her. We still have the same thing going on in 2021. Absalom, he had no respect for his father. He was in total rebellion against his dad, wanted to usurp authority. He stole the heart of the people. And to make it so bad, the son slept with the dad's concubines. The son slept with the dad's women. Now that's bad. That's terrible. Absalom, Joseph, all right? You might have heard of this story. He was the favorite son, all right? He was ridiculed by his brothers. It's like the dreamer, okay? Who do you think you are? We're going to bow down to you. His brothers were so jealous of him that they threw him in the pit. They were going to leave him there, and then one of the brothers said, no, 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 we're not going to leave him here. So they sold him into slavery. What kind of mess is that? That your own brothers, your own blood, so sell you into slavery. We're going to look at that again. The family unit, the family secrets. Now there was a sin factor. Cain killing Abel. Cain, all right, he had anger in his heart because God did not accept his sacrifice. It's okay to be angry, but you do not let your anger fester into you till it turns into bitterness. And you're so mad and angry that you want to kill your own brother. All right, so he has this anger in his heart, and now he's committed murder, sin. Tamar, her brother, Ammon, he lusted so. All right, a spirit of perversion, sin. Absalom, what happened to Absalom that bottom line, he hated his father. So what did David do for his son to hate him so? Maybe David was in the home and he was an absent parent. Or maybe David wasn't there. I know David was a man of war. He had to go to war out to battle. And Absalom hated the fact that his dad wasn't there for him. But something happened in Absalom's heart to make him turn against his own father. Sin, that anger, that hatred. And then Joseph, jealousy, hatred, anger, bitterness in the family unit. The same things are going on today. You have family members that hate one another. You have family favorites. You have family killing one another. You have family with sexual perversion, with sin, lust, the family unit. This is what happens when God is not in the picture. Sin reigns when God is not in the family structure. It's time to get God back in our families, in the home. If you backslidden, you're in a good spot because God is married to the backslider. You know you should be with God, in God's will. Confess, repent, turn from it, and get back to the household of faith. Get back to when you first believed. You know how when you first got saved and you were on fire for the Lord, you told everybody you saw? Get back to that. Or it's because you got hurt Here we go. Hurt, anger, bitter. You didn't deal with it. You didn't confront it. So now you ain't going back to church. No. It's time to get back, get right, and get back. And whoever offended you, do what the Bible told you to do. Go to them and be reconciled. Let them know how they did you, how you feel about it. Matthew chapter 18, and follow those steps. Get it right. Time is winding down. You see it on the news every day that time is winding down. Let's get our hearts right, our lives right, our homes right, and get back into church. Get back into the right fellowship with God. The answer to sin: give your life to God and live right before Him. That's what God is calling us to do. Treat others like we want to be treated. Okay, if someone mistreats you, that's fine. Don't worry about that. They mistreated Jesus. You are not going to go through this lifetime without anybody mistreating you. You are not going to go through this lifetime without anybody not talking about you. Get over yourself. All right? Don't be so easily offended. And we must forgive when people hurt us. There's no getting around that. You must forgive in order for God to forgive you. If not, you're going straight to hell. I'm telling you, that's Bible. Mark 11:25. Look it up. You know, when you stand praying, forgive. If you have aught against any, forgive them. Why? So your Father which is in heaven can forgive you too. This is what we have to do. And in order to be healed, you must forgive. The forgiveness is for you, not the other person. That person is going on with their life, and you still sitting there talking about what they done did to you, how they treated you, how they talked about you, and they going on with their life. Forgive them and going on with your life. Yes, forgiveness, you must do it. There's no getting around it. Questions. If you have any questions, you can DM me, send me a note if you have any questions about family secrets. I have an online course coming up. Classes start on Tuesday, July 13th at 7 p.m. The classes will meet for 3 weeks. It's going to be intense. We will meet on Tuesdays and Thursdays. There will be homework. Now, don't come if you are not ready to work, because this is about being free. And I'm serious about this, and I want to see you be set free. I will be checking in on you throughout the 3 weeks to see how you are doing. And we're going to talk about it, because that is how you are set free. I have 5 steps to start your emotional healing. I will give you some tools and strategies to help you to start your emotional healing journey so that you can be free. Feel free to contact me at ivy@footprintenterprisesllc.com, or you can check my website out, footprintenterprisesllc.com. My website is up and running, and I want to help you expose your truth so that you can be healed. I am your exposer. I will be on my project site via Zoom to help you be set free. God bless you and have a wonderful evening.